I just celebrated my 25th birthday. You know, when you're a kid and you get clothes for Christmas for your birthday, it's kind of a letdown, isn't it? I don't know how many people told me that growing up. How pissed off they were they just got mostly clothing for Christmas. Then they'd brag about the toys they got. Shit, I'd like to get clothes a lot of years. That would have been great. That ain't the life I live. I want you to look at the front of this, ma'am. Look at those officers right there. I've gone to every single one of those officers, with the exception of the one at the top middle. I don't know if I've encountered him yet. I've got recording after recording after recording of me going to these cops about abuse. Abuse that is recorded on my channel. I had to deal with the same thing in Hood River. I have to try to make friends before the cops hurt me. It doesn't matter though, I'm a guy, right? I just have to take it. Natalie Marie Bollinger was shot in the head by Joseph Michael Lopez, 6 to 15 inches away from her left temple in McIntosh Dairy outside of Thornton, Colorado. That was on December 28th of 2017. This is after over a year of me begging people to kill me because of abuse by a whole bunch of drug addicts. I can't go to the hospital as a homeless man without getting treated like a drug addict. I can't go to the police without getting treated like a drug addict. Every service that I am sent to, I have recorded, ma'am. Every single one of them committing felonies, not just against myself, but against many others here on the streets. It's not that these people aren't getting enough money. It's that it is horribly mismanaged. And people like you help them get away with it. None of you help homeless victims going through this shit. None of you. There's more money in sending people who are drug addicts through a bunch of fucking hoops and therapy. You have any idea how many crimes are committed against the homeless women out here? I've been bullied by the officers in this town. They started off by just talking over me in a situation that if they'd have handled it properly the first time, a lot of people would not have been abused by Molly, and not just her. You know who did something about Robert Farnsworth after repeated abuse and assault against others and myself? I recorded how I was treated by the officers, the things they told me. I recorded other witnesses as well. I went to all the mandated reporters I was told to. Every one of them, all of them send me around in circles. As soon as they find out that there was cops involved in committing crimes against me, their ears turn off. They tell me it's not against the law. Are you fucking shitting me? I am shaking like a leaf. I have so much disgust for you people. The youth and their hatred, their anti-Semitic bullshit, their anti-black bullshit, their anti-gay bullshit, their violence, repeated violence, vandalism. There's a man here named Christian. I've been told 2 different stories about him. He's a black man. He's pretty well known. I've got repeated harm against that man recorded. I've also got him recorded doing drugs, having mental breakdowns and screaming that he's going to kill people, pissing on my car. He went and vandalized stuff because I told him no. You know that all these services just push us into the housing thing, but they don't actually listen to what we are telling them. I've been sent around in circles for over a year here now. I also speak up about these places, and I speak up about how instead of blowing their buildings up, I record them and I try to turn them in. Instead of shooting them in the head, I tell people, no, I don't want your gun. There are repeated people in this town live on my YouTube channel offering me firearms for free. And I tell them all no, all of them. A lot of people at the Safeway, the Fred Meyers, Tillamook Sporting Goods have seen the harm firsthand that I have had to endure, and I have been able to record those people over and over and over since I got here. But every agency tells me it's not their job and sends me around in circles to other agencies. When a crime is committed against us, it is important for us to be able to turn it in right away, but it is important for us to be able to safely do so. And when you are so blatantly predatory towards people who are broke, and your officers especially, and you know it, they have a badge that makes it okay to bully people. I'm autistic, not retarded. The people who are supposed to do something about this, they never do. If you count the internet harassment along with it, the number of crimes committed against me in this county, number in the thousands. Look how impossible it is to turn in just one predator without getting the fucking runaround. On my channel is recorded victims of human trafficking, people whose children had to go through that. at the hands of the services here in Tillamook County, including Claire Jordan. God damn it. Then you got officers who aren't even getting the drugs to the evidence locker. Officers refusing to give their names. We're told to turn the crimes committed by these officers into themselves. You have no idea how many bodies there are. You probably should. How many bodies are there out here? How many murderers have you caught? How rampant is this violence? How rampant is this drug use? And how much is a person like me gonna stand a chance in hell of not being victimized? You are not using your head. Rule number one when you're a homeless person, do you know what it is? You never talk to police. They are not your friends. And do you know why? I've been going to police about the situation with Natalie Bollinger. You know how long I've been doing this? And how much abuse I take from her predators. People who raped her, people who sold her to other men, people who made her sell drugs and do drugs, people who got drunk and beat the fuck out of her and her sister. And God damn it, you don't stop to see the impact of having your name slandered on the internet the way that mine has. This isn't just a few people in town talking trash, ma'am. This shit is nationwide, and if you want to get pissed off that I'm cursing, I am cursing at the right goddamn things. Tommy White is missing from Tillamook. He's 21 years of age. He's 5'6". He's got brownish blonde hair and blue eyes. He's been missing since my little sister's birthday, October 14th. People went to my sister's house and threatened to kill her and my niece, and you have no idea how fucking mind-boggling it is that you fucking pieces of shit work together to prevent me from showing that evidence, and I literally have to show it on the internet. I have to tell my entire life to a bunch of strangers because you pieces of shit don't give a holy fucking goddamn because something with a badge is fucking infallible. Really? Maybe you should take a look at the evidence instead of letting our public pretenders bully us, threaten us, harass us, and intimidate us themselves because they don't want to do their jobs and give us the excuse of, oh, we have an overwhelming caseload. Yeah, that's right. And guess what? I've had over 30 false charges dropped since Natalie Bollinger's death. Every single one of those was an attempt to turn in bad officers and actual predators. You know what the outcome of not listening to me about Polly Olson was? She stole a lot more money from Dual County, Nebraska. She's in the paper for it. Congratulations. What was the outcome of not listening to me about the cops here? Well, look at Ray Rao. They only charged him with misdemeanors. He's guilty of felonies. And his witnesses, his other officers, these are absolutely not credible people, and you know it. I am disgusted by you. I've recorded so much racism in this town. So much bullying by the youth towards the homeless, by the police towards the homeless. Then we're sent to places that are supposedly going to help us out, and they do help out a lot of people out here. When it comes to abuse, I cannot function. For someone who's autistic, even high functioning like me, familiarity is important. Having some place where I can get some peace and quiet is important. There are dozens of witnesses to the situations with pumpkins being thrown at me. I've got the vehicle license plates all over YouTube because I can't. Your officers. Last October, and I've been trying to turn this in ever since. A 14-year-old girl was assaulted in the Safeway parking lot by Officer Reeves. I have it recorded on camera. There were multiple witnesses here. The girl was trying to turn in her stepfather for abuse. So her mother and her stepfather stood next to my vehicle and conspired with a woman from TFCC to have that poor girl locked up on suicide watch. Do you know what that means, ma'am? That means that for the rest of her life, anyone who wants to rape her can get away with it. You're not going to listen to her any more than you're ever going to listen to me. That means for the rest of her life, any boyfriend who wants to beat her up can get away with it. Anybody who wants to take advantage of her physically, sexually, or financially, they're going to get away with it. Because although there are laws that are supposed to protect us, none of these people follow those laws. None of the people that you're sending me to, none of the people they send me to, none of them follow the laws that are supposed to protect us, and I have that recorded from coast to coast. I also have recorded me screaming some very angry things about you people. No restricted calls. I have thousands of these now. And I got over 200 restricted calls. In about 30 minutes on just one of my YouTube videos. Just in the last month, I've been assaulted at least 8 times. And I have to be afraid to go to the police because of bullying and antagonization. Anything they write down, they're going to intentionally leave information out of. Yeah. Ma'am, I've said a lot meaner things to 911. This ain't the first time that I've had. This is literally the only thing they can charge me with, seriously. Are you fucking kidding me? This is literally the only thing they can fucking charge me with. They're fucking pulling at straws, lady. Your incompetence, your intentional incompetence is likely to get myself or someone else killed in between now and when I have fucking court again. While you pawn me off on places where I've been threatened, harassed, intimidated, and bullied. The sign that says do not record is not going to stop me from recording. Just so you know, you're not the first judge to pull this. Care does not help us. When we are abused, they do not help us. I have recorded this over and over again. They will not let us speak. They just want to do all the talking and talk over us. They tell us what their job is. Everything but the mandated reporter part. They want to go into long detail for 45 minutes about this shit. And talk over us and tell us what we can and cannot say. For most of us, we just need a safe place. An actual safe place. Not stuck in public. To do any of the things that you are asking us to do. Any of the things that are being required of us to do. We have no actual assistance with this. Cops send us to mental health. Mental health plays word games just like the cops do. They'll twist it and manipulate it however they want. And then they will utilize the same cops you're trying to turn in order to have you harmed again and again. Officer Mike Reeves assaulted a 14-year-old girl. It is recorded on my YouTube channel. You know what else is recorded on my YouTube channel? A whole bunch of assaults. A whole bunch of threats against my life and my friends' lives, my family's lives. And evidence that people slandered my name over and over and over again. My phone here is full of evidence. All sorts of evidence of crimes committed against me. This is not okay. If you're going to send me to any agency, it needs to be with a court order for them to do their job to investigate this. And not just me. My YouTube channel is full of hundreds of people. Hundreds of other victims, hundreds of other predators. Guess what? There's a woman named Janessa Ray Funkhauser. By Burnside, the weapons on too. I've been asking around. I got that recorded too. You know what the result of not listening to me was? Officer Whale and Lola Ty got to assault at least 6 other people on camera. She has cost Boulder County over $3 million alone. You guys hear that music? That's another restricted call calling me. Over and over and over again. Over and over and over and over and over and over again. I've been trying to turn in evidence that these predators who came after me have other victims too. I've got the admissions of many, many predators on my channel, including people who admitted to killing people. Yeah. Matter of fact, one of those men who admitted to killing someone did that within 5 minutes of being recorded on my channel. Same video. Within 5 minutes of him punching a woman who could not possibly defend herself. And if you knew what Jamie has to go through, my God, lady. The police do the same thing there as they do here. They shove you to mental health. Mental health sends you to this church. Yeah, there's a church parking lot. And now they're charging the church with crimes in the Dalles, Oregon, where Jamie is hit often and frequently. That's the closest that woman has to a safe place there. And many of her predators were my predators as well. And the mandated reporters that we had to go to there, same thing. Round and round she goes. Where she stops, nobody knows. Just word games and head games and bad insinuations. Lying and slandering my name to people. My channel is full of people threatening to kill me. It's full of people assaulting me and breaking my things over and over and over again, and the cops will do nothing. Officer Sadler did everything that he could to help Molly get away with what she did. Same thing with Lothman. Same with Trent Olson. These are all your officers. Do you have any idea how many people that I tried to turn in that were later busted for doing it to others? Not just one other, but others. Plural, more than one. All of those false charges they had to fucking drop were me trying to turn those pieces of shit in. People in law enforcement who I was sent to turn them into themselves. Would you make a rape victim turn in the rape to literally the officer who raped them? Would you send them to CARE if you knew that CARE was just going to send them to 211 or 988? What about the Department of Health and Human Services? Oh, that's Jeff Linneman. He's in charge of 4 different counties, and I have abuse by police and by the public recorded in 4 different counties here in Oregon. 5 different counties here. Now, when you want to go and be angry at my hateful words, the fact that I cursed, the fact that I yelled, keep in mind, these are all things that people have told me that I should do to my predators. All of these different ideas. People keep saying you should this and you should that. Nearly everybody that I go to for help, they'll talk about how they would hurt somebody if somebody did something like that to me. I'm like, I'm not asking you to hurt anybody. I'm asking you to help me turn them in. You know how scary that is? How many women that are recorded on my YouTube channel that's their first go-to is violence? Please, can we not? My predators have guns. I got 15 bags of evidence in a storage locker I've been trying to force into some officer's hand. Please, I'm sick of these people telling me about the people who are molesting them and raping them, and you guys doing nothing. You guys telling me that I have to magically turn off abuse in the general vicinity where I cannot protect or defend myself. How can you expect us to turn stuff in when we're forced to do things electronically? When officers won't write it down? When the people that you are going to, that are supposed to assist you in turning things into the police, don't. They want to play head games and jump through the housing shit first. No. When someone is being abused and being sent to you because they're being abused, especially if they're a disabled and at-risk adult like myself, they're supposed to take it seriously, are they not? And none of them do. Instead, I'm set up for therapy after therapy after therapy, 30 days away. People like Dr. Danelle Boggs telling me that she's sending me there for case management over abuse. I go over there for that case management. Well, it's not case management. They just want to make me go through therapists again and again and again and again. It's obvious that I'm not telling them about aliens and unicorns and all sorts of crap like that. It's obvious that of the over 24 now government officials and officers that I've been illegally arrested or imprisoned over have been arrested since then for repeated engagements of exactly those activities against others. They get a big head when you let them get away. It makes them brazen. But despite their big heads, my channel here is still full of evidence. I've got probably 10,000 recordings of just audio recordings alone, and those are very difficult to post up here on the internet. I have been trying to turn these in. There are no good cops. And this is why there are no good cops. Yeah, we as Americans have rights until we're homeless, and then you just call us mentally ill, and magically any crime committed against us is justified. Somebody needs to help keep these mandated reporters, these places I'm sent, like Jeff Linneman, from bullying me instead of allowing me to tell them what's going on or show them the evidence. They make it impossible. They take advantage of disabilities I have. And then, of course, there's a bias of they want to call it mentally ill instead and make inferences. I know how it works, ma'am. The homeless are treated worse than dogs, and you know it. You take part in it. There's no justice in any of this BS. Just abuse. Judge Trevino, I am disgusted by all of you. Telling me I can leave, I don't have to stay here. I have no money to go anywhere. I already spent it going to free services that cost tax dollars. Mandated reporters who, instead of doing their jobs, took advantage of me for monetary gain. Not just any monetary gain. The United States people paid for that. Paid for that misuse of funds. What do the mental health people do when officers send me to them? The officers say this is what they're supposed to do. This is what you're supposed to do, right, Judge? I won't say Your Honor until you've done something honorable. A homeless person tries to turn in a crime. The cop sends us to mental health. Mental health says it's not their job to investigate. Sets us up for therapy 30 days out. The most important time is the first, well, when the crime is happening, but I have to record the crimes when they're happening. Otherwise, I get told, well, we have to see evidence, but then again, you'll arrest me for someone else's word versus mine, huh? Do you hear all the sick, horrible things that people say to me? Do you feel any of the sick, horrible things that people do to me? Do you care about the impact? Nobody has any faith in Tillamook officers. They show up for shoplifters. Yep. Depending on the size of your business. A lot of people who promised to help me after Natalie Bollinger and her bullshit. A lot of them had missing people of their own that they were trying to find, and they just hoped that I would come forward and help them. I know exactly what that feels like. I'm a really mean person. I want you to know that. And not because I want to be. Because people are mean to me, I have to be mean back for them to get the point that I'm not just going to keep letting them hurt me or bully me into moving elsewhere for things that did not happen. I'm a human being. Just because I'm easy to take advantage of doesn't make it okay. And pretending that I chose to be taken advantage of is also not okay. There's almost 7,500 videos on my channel now. I don't have any friends, so I talk to my YouTube channel. I try to make pleasant conversation. I do know how. I have to mask in public, pretend everything is okay. One thing I do on my channel is record as much as I possibly can as it's happening, because of multiple situations where officers were able to press false charges against me that they had to drop. They pressed those false charges on me to separate me from the evidence against them. You know what happens when you are literally sent to your rapist by name? And this is far worse than rape. And before you want to try making any sort of argument about that, no, I grew up in this system. I have been raped. I have been the target of race crimes before. I have been the target of anti-Semitism before. I have been the target of homophobia most of my life as well. Guess what? I'm not gay. I'm just not interested in women either. And that's not a crime. When people beat on me and bully me and harass me and threaten me, they want to call me a sicko. They want to call me mentally ill. They want to call me all sorts of other words that are not nice in polite company. Hopefully you made some time to listen to the other video I made about you this morning. I really, really, really need you to understand that all of these agencies blowing us off is the reason there are so many people who are dead. I've got recordings on here on my channel from mental health professionals stating loud and clear that I am not schizophrenic, I am not delusional, I have PTSD from abuse. Yeah, the conversations themselves. Ma'am, I'm scared and I can't function. People harassed my sister and my niece in person, threatened at least my sisters in person. I'm afraid of cops for a reason. You might want to look up the name Natalie Bollinger, Natalie Bollinger. You can even pick a language, lady. I'm loud. Imagine if people yelled at you like that, ma'am. Now I want you to imagine if I did that to everyone I met in real life instead of the way I actually treat somebody in real life. I treat them like they're people. A lot of folks don't like that I speak up on the internet, and they don't like that I recorded that they harmed me on the internet. I have to try not to have panic attacks. I don't have familiarity. I'm constantly running around like a chicken with his head cut off. My back is so screwed. Also, living in constant fear leads to brain damage. I can't continue to go through this. Everywhere that I go, bullied into moving on. Police officers slandering my name. My name is Sean David Schwartz. I was born October 18th, 1980 in Scottsbluff, Nebraska at 10:27 a.m. I've done a lot of stuff that was absolutely necessary, but I've never killed anyone, I've never raped anyone, and I've never molested anyone. I have Tourette syndrome, so I wink my eyes. I've been beaten up for it a lot. I also do stuff with my arms. I'm also cold today. I live in my car. You are free to look at the conditions that I live in. I got a camp up in Tillamook Forest. It shouldn't even be up there. I mean, it's a situation where I had to try to get safe from police and the public because of abuse. People throwing stuff at me, people assaulting me. There's a guy named Andrew Wolnez. He's just one of the most recent iterations of the same old theme. Oh, I saw something on the internet, so it's okay to hurt him. Or, oh, he told on one of his predators. Well, his predator's a friend of mine. He's not allowed to do that. I'll make his life hell. The evidence that's just on my YouTube channel alone is enough to convict every officer in Tillamook. Who's going to come down here and arrest every officer in Tillamook? Who's going to care between those officers and a homeless person? Exactly. Exactly my point. That's why I record everything, including me being bullied in the last place I was at and the place before that. Not okay. I'm in a lot of pain today. Pills don't help me. Pain pills, they don't even touch my pain. I have Asperger's, and I have a really, really high pain threshold. You can go through my YouTube channel, you can see how when I have to go into public, how I am capable of playing perfect, pretending everything is fine and jolly and okay, if need be. If I go into a business or an establishment. But I'm not okay with being bullied. Sending me to 911 and the police has only resulted in 911 and the police working together to make sure that I am threatened, harassed, intimidated, or otherwise rendered incapable of turning them in. Or so they think. I got a YouTube channel. I get disability money, but I gotta go out and hold a sign in the rain. Hopefully I'll get enough while standing out in the rain to get a warm coffee. I don't have any professionals helping me with any of the things that, by law, someone is supposed to be there to help me with. Then we could talk about all the drugs down there at Lillian A. Goodspeed. All the needles that I find, who I take them to. It's all on my channel. There's also a lot of recordings that are not on my channel, or they're not public on my channel. I'm gonna end this video and I might puke. You're welcome.